What up, y'all? Cherries and Bunions back in the building. And in this tutorial, I'm gonna be showing y'all how to do a 360-degree head spin of the usual suspect right here. You know, we've been working on this character, the same guy, for the past three tutorials, and maybe in the next one I break the monotony and do something different, and then get back to this guy and add on some more stuff maybe in future tutorials. But I'll make that decision when I start working on the next tutorial. But for now, I'm showing you how to do a 360 head degree spin, and I'm gonna drop a jewel on y'all about animation. Is when you making your characters' heads, to make it simple, do the make his head in symmetrical shape. Like, you see, I got this guy's head. It's a circle. It's a perfect circle. So, and you see the guidelines. I'm moving the guidelines to make a front facing head. Cause right now his original head is like 3/4 to the left, and now I'm making his face look straight forward. But you see, when you have the head is a perfect circle, it's easier to draw the heads in different angles and looking at that, because the head is a perfect circle. So that's another shortcut for you when you doing your animation. I mean, if you doing a static drawing, you could get funky and creative and, draw the face with different arches and angles and stuff like that. But for animation purposes, it's better to make your characters heads in a symmetrical shape, so it's easier for you to draw the head in different angles by just moving the guidelines. And when you move the guidelines, you could line up the face parts with the guidelines easier like that. And as you can see, like I said, the drawing tools are on the left of the screen and the layers are on the right, and the colors and stuff are on the right. The timeline is at the bottom of the screen, and I'm working in the middle of the screen, the drawing panel, and I'm doing all this, believe it or not, with the trackpad. I'm not even using a stylus, a pen, or a mouse or anything. I'm just drawing everything directly with the trackpad, because this is vector art, and vector art is more like shaping and molding more so than actual drawing. But drawing is like a discipline that got principles and rules. So if you know the rules of drawing with a pencil and paper, you're gonna know how to draw with vector, because the same rules apply. It's like music theory. Once you know music theory, you could produce music within any software, because the principles are the same. You got your chords and your melodies and your bars and your bass and your tempo and all that. And once you know all those principles, you could jump from software to software and produce music. So just like with art, once you know the principles of art, if you draw with a pen and paper, it's gonna easily be transferred to vector art. So, and like I said, even within this software, you can use a stylus and a drawing pad, because they do got the pencil tool. And you could also, draw within another software and import your art into this software, just strictly to animate. But right now, I'm just taking the parts that already exist on his face and just manipulating it. And in order to make a head do a 360 spin, you need 8 different head positions. But the good news is you're not gonna have to draw 8 different heads, because like 3 or 4 of the heads is just duplicates of the same thing, just reversed. So you see the 360 head facing to the left, you just duplicate that head and face it to the right. And the same goes for the profile heads and and the 3/4 heads facing backwards. So you're not drawing 8 different pictures. You're not drawing 8 different heads. You're drawing about one, two, three, about four, and then the rest of them are duplicates. And the back head is easier to draw than the front head because the back head don't got no face parts. So that's another jewel I'm dropping on you. It's always easier to draw the head from the back. Because all you doing is drawing the hair and maybe the side of the ear and the neck and all that. But you're not drawing all the eyes and nose and mouth and eyebrows and all that. But yeah, animation is a labor of it's a labor of love. You gotta it's something that's gonna take a lot of time, but the product is worth it at the end when you finish making a project, and but it don't stop there. You just gotta keep on keeping on. It's like breathing. You just gotta constantly do it all the time. And when you're doing your animation, it's not just about drawing and drawing and drawing. There's other aspects of it that you also gotta do, like sound design, voice acting, um, and then it's a lot of copying and pasting, going from scene to scene. A lot of copying and pasting, but the important thing is, and I've been telling y'all, is to write. You gotta write and storyboard. That's the most important aspect of the whole journey, because without writing, you're not gonna have nothing to animate. Writing is gonna be your blueprint. Writing is gonna be the soul, and I say storyboarding is the blueprint. You gotta storyboard. Storyboarding mean you planning out every scene for scene. You planning it out, because in animation you gotta have a plan. You can't just delve into it without a plan of attack, because it ain't gonna work like that. The most simplest animation, you gotta write down how you gonna do it, scene for scene. Right now, I'm gonna do a profile head, like directly dude looking to the side. And as you can see, even though I'm drawing multiple heads, I'm just actually duplicating the heads and making adjustments to it. So when you're working with a software like this, it's a lot of shortcuts. You just better be happy you're not one of them animators from back in the days that was constantly drawing everything over and over again. With these new softwares, it's a lot of copying and pasting. You don't gotta be drawing stuff over and over again. You just gotta draw maybe certain things one time and then manipulate it, copy and paste it and manipulate it for the next pose or position. So that's a good thing. Back in the days, them guys was drawing a lot, and even today, some traditional animators still draw a lot more than digital artists. And it gets to the point where they drawing so much they gotta outsource their in between drawings to Asia. So, cause they drawing so much, the guys in Asia spend the time drawing the position between the positions, which is called in betweening, the tweening drawings. And the guys in Asia are doing the extra drawings and stuff between the key poses. So just be lucky y'all got me here to show y'all how to do it this way. And especially as a solo animator, you're gonna you gotta use as much shortcuts as you can, because animation is a real time consuming process. Even with all the technology and shortcuts, animation is still very time consuming. So just be happy technology advanced to where we got these softwares, but don't fall victim to AI and think AI is gonna do the whole process for you, because in my opinion, the AI is just destroying a lot of artists' creativity. A lot of artists do this for the love. You know what I'm saying? And then they got people that just wanna use AI to do the whole process, and then but you got artists. They love to draw. They love to animate. They love to make music, and they don't want AI to take that over. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's getting ridiculous. And then that AI that it look corny and fake, yo. It's like the BBL of art, yo. That's what AI is, the BBL of art. I mean, how many? I mean, y'all like real butts, or y'all like BBLs, yo. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too crazy about all that AI animation, but I'm gonna show y'all how to do 2D animation with Moho Pro, and also a few other software products to enhance your journey. I also use FL Studio for music, and they got websites that give you free sounds on the internet, so you could do your sound design. And a good free website is freesounds.org. So if you want to get sounds like car doors opening, traffic sounds, toilets flushing, running water, any sound you could think of that you need to add to your project, go to freesounds.org. And that's like, I think, probably one of the biggest free libraries on the internet for free sounds, because you're going to need those sounds. They more important than you think. So as you can see right here, I got one, two, four heads, but I only drew these four heads. They're gonna be duplicated. One is already duplicated. I only drew three heads, but there's four right there. Two of them, one of them is a duplicate. The one that's looking three quarters is a duplicate, and flipped over. And the profile now is flipped over. So you see five heads, but I only drew three heads. I drew the front, the profile, and the original head, which was the three quarters. And yeah, I want y'all to in your animations, I don't want y'all to be holding back. I want you to express all your emotions and inner thoughts and all your humor and drama in your animation, cause life got negative and positive, but you don't want to be outside wilding out. So put all your wilding in your art. You know what I'm saying? Put all your wilding in your art, because you gotta have an outlet for the negativity, cause it exists. You can't get rid of it. You understand me? So instead of trying to suppress it, put it in your art. Right now, being that I had the eyes different shapes and stuff, I had to switch the profile and the other three quarter. I gotta switch the eyes because they different they different shapes. But cause I'm stupid like that. I like to make my art a little funky, so I make like the eyes different shapes. So now I gotta change the eye sizes, but normal people make the eyes the same size, so you wouldn't have to do this extra step. So I got all these head shapes, and then with this same principle, you could apply that to the body. So you can have the body make a 360 turn, a 360 spin. You just draw all the positions, put them all in a switch layer. I explained what a switch layer was in the previous tutorial. A switch layer is similar to a group layer. But a group layer, when everything is in a group, you can see all the items within the group at the same time. But in the switch layer, you only see the item that's selected, but they all in the group, but you only can see the item that's selected and the rest of the items are not visible. So it's like a frame by frame. It's another iteration of frame by frame animation. So a lot of people, they think that the software is gonna eliminate the whole traditional art process, but that's not the case. It does help a lot, but there's gonna be instances where you're gonna have to draw frame by frame. But the good news is that a lot of people get intimidated by the animation process, thinking, "Oh my goodness, every second I gotta draw 24 pictures for every second of animation." But that's not the case, because a lot of animators, like from Warner Brothers on up, from the Warner Brothers era to Hanna-Barbera and all of them, that was like from the 70s and the 80s. They started animating on tools, meaning instead of 24 frames a second, they reduced it down to 12 frames a second. And they still get a good quality animation. And on top of that, what people don't realize is that in the animation world, a second is a long time. When you lift up your hand and wave, that don't take a whole second. It take a split second. So you don't gotta draw 12 different pictures to do that. You might just have to draw three, cause 3 pictures is gonna equal to a quarter of a second, and it only take a quarter of a second to lift up your hand and wave. So you're not drawing 12 pictures. You only drawing three. So you drawing the two the two main poses and one pose in between. And with these type of software, you copy and paste it, so you really not drawing that much anyway. And you're gonna see that in future tutorials. Right now, you just seeing me doing a head spin. So that's for this tutorial, but in the future you're gonna see more tricks of the trade to shorten up your animation process, so it could be logistically possible for you to push out projects in a timely manner. And you never know, you might make a blockbuster hit, or a great music video or something that puts you on the map. You know what I'm saying? Something you could be proud of. Right now I'm doing the head from the view of the back, and like I said, the back heads, they real easy, because you see all I did was, all is the hair and the ears and the back of the head, so that's pretty easy right there. But when you doing all these head positions, make sure they the same size. That's why I tell you, all the head positions, all the heads is like on a symmetrical foundation, which is a circle. And I just moving different facial parts and head parts on that circle. So and now I'm copying and pasting that profile head, and I'm gonna make a 3/4 back head with that. So basically it's a lot of copying and pasting to speed up the process. But this ain't no this is art, yo. Anybody that does art, they spend hours on their art, because art is something that you just do for free. You know what I'm saying? It's something you do because you love doing it. or anything you do, you gotta do it because you love doing it. Whether you play an instrument or a sport, or you might be a chef, a computer programmer, or anything, or you might work on cars. Always have something to do, especially y'all youngins, because when you don't got nothing to do, you get involved in things you shouldn't get involved with on the streets and start hanging out with a bunch of friends that ain't got nothing going on. Next thing you know, y'all doing something stupid. Believe you me, I know. And you don't want to be out there doing nothing crazy because you need to get busy getting this money and elevating. Cause all that doing all that crazy stuff is lame. You know what I'm saying? That's like I said, all that crazy stuff you feel like doing, put it in your art, yo. If you play the guitar, put it in your riffs. You know what I'm saying? If you cooking, put it in your spice. You heard? If you work on cars, yo, put it in your exhaust or your candy paint or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's where you contain that rage and that emotion. Don't put it on the streets, yo. We don't need that right now. So as you see, I got 8 different head positions, and I'm gonna put all those head positions in a switch layer, which I told you is like a similar to a group layer, but in the switch layer, you only can see one head at a time, depending on which one I selected. And across the timeline, at different points of the timeline, I'm gonna display a different head, and it's gonna form the illusion of the head making a 360-degree spin. And that's all animation is. It's just illusions. To make a still image look like it's moving. To tell whatever story or message you trying to convey. You heard? I got that. I'm removing the animation from because that head from that previous tutorial, and he was talking. So I'm removing that animation out of those layers, and I just kept the talking head on the side, outside of that light blue box. That light blue box is the camera view. So that head right there that you see right there is outside of the camera view, and so you're not gonna see that in the rendered version. But I'm just working on it, cause that's what we do. So this tutorial is almost done. But like I said, I'm gonna put all these heads in a group layer. You see, I'm stacking them all up, and then I'm gonna put them in a switch layer. I should say, not a group layer, in a switch layer. And you see, when you're dealing with animation, there's a bunch of different layers. You see all those layers on the right side of the screen that I'm selecting? There's layers within those layers within those layers, because I like to do everything on separate layers. That helps the animation process, so you can manipulate little things individually. Like everything is on a different layer: the hair, the nose, the eyebrows, the face, the lips, the mouths, the pupils. All those is on different layers. And now you see one head, and I'm gonna go on the timeline and animate that. And then that's to the point where I'm animating it on every 6 frames. Every 6 frames I'm making it spin. You could do it faster or slower depending on whatever your project require. And then I see the head spinning and I put it on a loop, on a cycle. It's called a cycle within this program, but it's a loop. And now I'm shortening it to like every 3 frames right here instead of every 6 frames. So I just deleted it and just I'm redoing it because it's real simple. Once one thing about this program, once you get the hang of it, you're gonna be in and out of it because it's like the learning curve on this program is like easier than other programs. And if you got any questions, just leave a comment and I'll answer it. And I put that on a loop. And look, I'm playing it. Look at the head spinning. 360 degrees right there. That was pretty simple, right? And you could do that with anything. But for right now, it's a head. Because, you're going to be drawing a lot of characters within your animation. But, yo, I'm going to leave y'all with this. Yo, peace. Y'all be safe out there.